What up, what up, what up, football fans all over the world? It's your boy Mac the Giants fan here with my guy, the super dope co-host, Adam Costas. You don't know what time it is. It's time for that real deal NFC East round up. Punch that intro. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Real Deal NFC East Roundup. I am Mac the Giants fan here with my guy, the super dope co-host, Adam Costas. Tough week. Week 6 was a rough one for the NFC East, all except for one squad. You know, we'll talk about them in a little bit. But tough week for the NFC East, man. I tell you, I mean, it was a rough, tough sailing, man. But I don't know. I'm just kind of a little more pumped up. I'm a little amped. You know, this is. As a Giant fan, I'm getting life breathed back into us. I feel like, man, a little bit. It's coming. We just gotta keep it going in the right direction, man. Adam, how you feeling today, though, man?
Well, it surely feels better to be the sole winner of the NFC East this week and get to kind of fluff your chest out a bit, especially for you in Eagle country, that no one could really say much to you this week because you had their number. They can always say the record and all that stuff, but you had the pride of the team, and that is the Giant win, and not just a win, a resounding butt kicking. But that's not. We'll talk about them in a minute. But it's good to come off of a victory Monday, so to speak.
Absolutely. What's going on in the chat? No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to be nice. You know what I mean? Look, I don't really care about all them. I don't care about all them losing out, But in the fact, I love just a week when it's the Giants are the only NFC East winners. I mean, it just gotta love it, especially when it's at the expense of the champs. So, but we'll get to them in a little bit, man, because that game was already a week old now. Let's get to these Sunday matchups. Carolina hosting the Dallas Cowboys, man. I don't know what it is. I feel like did Dallas lose to Carolina last year too?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I feel like they played them. Oh, yeah, they definitely played them because we played that whole division last year. But
I do know that I got this pick right.
You did. You absolutely did. Just was an upset special. You nailed it. I can't remember. Maybe Dallas did beat Carolina last year. But, yeah, they did. They did. I've now had to look at it. Dallas did beat Carolina last year, but Carolina played them very, very tough in that game as well. And this one, Carolina was able to actually get the job done, man, and walk-off fashion, kicking the field goal with time expiring to upset the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday down in Charlotte, man. What your thoughts on this one, Adam?
I thought, well, first off, I just want to pat myself on the back because no one really does around here anyway. So I called the upset special of Carolina this week. It was kind of interesting. I didn't think they would do it, but, momentum is different. And it's really interesting to see this Carolina team, who's basically been a Jekyll and Hyde squad, get to 500 because I didn't think that this Cowboy team was going to let Bryce Young march up and down the field. And that's just what they did. They missed tackles. Rico Dowell had a game. You can't win like that when you don't stop anybody. You're not getting any pressure. You're not doing anything to affect the quarterback. This is what happens. And then your defense can't make a stop to save its life, and they get into field goal range. And the advantage was on Panthers this time because they had a young kicker who they've been, utilizing. And obviously kicking is the story this season in the NFL, where people are just kicking moon balls, right? It happens when you keep a team close like that. And I think being at home for the Panthers, nothing to lose, no expectations. I don't really think too many people picked the Panthers. I know my co-hosts didn't. They both picked the Cowboys.
I did not. I picked the Cowboys.
I just thought the Cowboys would do Cowboy things. And that's what they do. Even with a new coach, a new, culture, so to speak, they still do Cowboy things. And until they fix that defense, you got to ask yourself, if you're a Giant fan, what if? What if you won the game against the Cowboys? Your season would look a whole lot different than it is right now. Yeah, granted, you're upbeat and everything like that. But this team clearly can't stop anybody, and they only can beat you if they out boat race you by scoring more touchdowns. And if you stop them once or twice, the Cowboys, and have them punt, and you go down and score, or you go down and get a turnover or something, it changes the complexion of the game. That's what it does when these teams are close. And you got to give it to the Panthers. They're on the Cowboys level, a 500 team right now. So it's a 50-50 game. And I thought with the momentum of the Cowboys having the big win the previous week that it would translate. But I thought of Mac's words to me when the Cowboys were playing Arizona last week or last year, and Arizona was god awful. And we said, they can't lose. And Mac goes, the Cowboys do Cowboy things, and they end up losing games like this. And we said, no, Mac, what are you talking about? Well, the prophecy came true, as Mac was right. And so when the Panthers came up, I don't know, that little birdie in my head, Mac's voice going, Cowboys do Cowboy things. I picked the Panthers. So I said, you know what? Because somehow the Cowboys would do that. They get on this high, and then boom. They go on a low, and they could have propelled themselves right now and vaulted themselves into second place and really kind of started to pull away. They kicked a 60-plus yard field goal, and then they kicked another 57-yard field goal. So it's 2 field goals, and the Giants have had a history of that. But that's not the point. The point is, if they had won that game, it's a different complexion of the story, and we're still not in fourth place. We're still, after the Cowboys lost, somehow are still in fourth place. So I'm done talking about this game, for now. I'd like to hear
tie in Green Bay. Yeah, that tie in Green Bay is keeping the Cowboys above us right now. That tie. It doesn't go down, as I said. It wasn't a loss. It's still better than a loss. Unfortunately.
So that's what I'm saying. Down the stretch, it's going to be, and folks, we have 11 games to go. Like, this season is on cruise control. Like, there's no stopping it now. Every game is going to matter down the stretch, especially if you start to see these teams that we're playing that are at the 4s, the 5s, 6s. You got to think, if we were to split and they were to split, right? Let's say they go 6-5. All those teams are 10-7. The Giants are still out the playoffs. Okay, so if the Giants were to split these games, so every game is critical. Every moment is critical, especially now that we're starting to get to the stretch. So just look at that and be mindful of that. And that's why teams like the Cowboys losing to the Panthers, that gets them in the wild card contention, just barely on the cusp. But if you watch it, like I said, these next 3 weeks are really going to separate some of the teams in the conference. They may not be the best teams in the conference, but because they beat up on each other, you're going to start to see an ascension. So anyways, I'm done talking about that. Panthers, congratulations on the win. Rico Dowdle had a game. Mac, your thoughts?
Yeah, great stuff, man. Yeah, you're right. Rico Dowdle, man. I tell you, that he must have been angry seeing Dallas come to this new building, man. Because he just ran wild on them. Rico Dowdle, man. Let me talk about him real quick, man. 30 carries, 183 yards on the ground, and then 4 catches with 56 more yards through the air and a touchdown catch. I mean, Rico Dowdle he was a fantasy MVP a week ago, man. For anybody that had enough sense to pick that man up and put him in their lineup last week, he paid dividends big time. But
I know he wants Cam Scatterbo to win FedEx Air Ground Player of the Week, but this guy probably won it because that's an amazing line.
Absolutely. I mean, he averaging 6 yards a clip, man. Like, that's. He put work in against his old team. What's going on, Coach Ed, man? Peace and blessings to you as well. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you stopping through, man. Make sure y'all go sub up to Coach Ed, man. If you haven't already, make sure you definitely go support Coach Ed.
Coach Ed, my business partner. No, just kidding.
But he said Rico called his own shot before the game. Yeah, I ain't know nothing about that. But yeah, he showed up and he was fierce, man. And speaking of showing up, that's what it's about. This Dallas defense, like you said, you said it best. This defense is going to cripple is crippling this football team. Like you said, they can't stop anything that anybody does, man. And if it wasn't for a great offense that they had, led by their quarterback, who was playing out of his mind, and he also did it once again on Sunday. To be quite frank, and what he did should have been enough to win a football game. Unfortunately, like you said they're going to have to just keep outscoring people because their defense can't stop anyone. because Dak Prescott, man, was serving them up once again, 25 of 34, 261 yards, and 3 touchdown passes on the day, man.
That's a great stat.
It ain't Dak Prescott's fault. I mean, George Pickens, man, his best game of the season thus far, continuously just growing, stepping up in that wide receiver 1 spot, while CeeDee Lamb was still out, who might be returning this week, by the way.
I'll pat myself.
9 catches, 168 yards on 11 targets, man, and the touchdown catch too as well. George Pickens is serving them up out there, man. Great pickup for the Dallas Cowboys this offseason.
I said it this offseason.
Just a great pickup. But where the Cowboys fell short, though, in this game offensively was their run game, man. Javonte Williams has been off to a pretty strong start this season, but wasn't able to get anything going. 13 catches, 29 yards. You definitely need more than that. I mean, to get anything done. As a matter of fact, the Cowboys only rushed for 31 yards on the day. That's definitely never going to be it. Yeah, it's definitely never going to get it done. Yeah, it's just
they have to play keep away from the other team. Essentially, they have to be able.
Absolutely.
Essentially, the Cowboys' strategy going forward has to be score touchdowns and keep away. And what I mean by that is, if you want methodical clock-eating drives, so that your defense doesn't have to be out the field that long, and maybe the offense will make a mistake, or maybe they'll make a play or something like that. And I don't know what they're going to do. The defense is calling each other out. If I'm the Cowboys, if I'm the offense, I'm looking at the defense in the meeting and I'm standing up like, yo, bro, we're a team, we're a family, but you got to hold up your end of the bargain, bro. We could be better than this. We should be better than that. He's playing at MVP level. You're going to waste his season playing at MVP level to keep you barely in games. So what? You get a 15 draft pick in the first round? This guy they need defensive help. I don't even think Micah Parsons would have helped this defense out. It might have looked better. He might have gotten some sacks, but that guy wouldn't have done anything. This defense can't do nothing, okay? It might have helped maybe some one-on-ones, but I don't think that guy was going to do as much as people think in this defense. It might be Eberflus. But I will say this, regardless of anything, if I'm Jerry Jones, I like where Schottenheimer's gone with the offense. Their offense is great. Let's just say it. With their quarterback, he's done a better job to elevate Dak Prescott than Mike McCarthy. What they need to find is a defense, and next year with their first-round picks they have, maybe they should start to look into defensive help. Okay, we know the offense is good. Let's see on the trade market what we can do. We have these 4 first-round picks that we know that we have. We have 2 in 2026. We have 2 in 2027, excuse me. We could probably get a quarterback in one of these 2 drafts that we need to groom under Dak Prescott. Let's use one of these firsts to get somebody that might be on a team somewhere, right? Because and that person may not help right away, but think long term. And you want somebody long term here, because the Cowboys are young on the offensive line. They've got skill position players who, if I'm Jerry Jones, I'm running to George Pickens now and trying to sign him today before he hits free agency, because with every game it goes cha-ching, 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 right? And who knows what will happen, but that's a guy I would sign. If I'm Javonte Williams, I'd probably sign him. It depends on how Jaden Blue plays, right? And how he comes alive. I think they went to, why they didn't have a good running game, even though Javonte Williams was there, is because they tried Jaden Blue a lot in this game. And they really tried to get him, and he really wasn't as effective. And let's be honest, the Panthers have Derek Brown on the line. They have A'Shawn Robinson, pretty solid interior to stop the run game. And that's exactly what they did. And when you stop the Cowboys run game, you put them in this track meet, which they can do. But if you are in the track meet with them, because their defense can't do anything, and I'm surprised, because Eberflus is known for defense, so I'm surprised that his defense is this atrocious. This is bad. I thought the Giants' defense has its weakness. This is worse than that.
Yeah, I agree. It's terrible, and like you said, something I think it might have been last week. You might have mentioned this. It's terrible to a point where this ain't just because Micah Parsons is gone terrible. This would still be bad even if Micah was there. This is the kind of bad that the Cowboys defense is looking right now. Even if Micah was there, maybe it would be a smidge better, but it wouldn't be. They'd still be getting torched, I believe. I don't think it would make a difference in which they'd still be getting torched. I mean, they got to figure. they got to figure something out with this defense because to me, I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to make that prediction. The New York Giants will leapfrog this team if their defense continues to play the way they're playing right now. This Cowboy defense continues to play the way they're playing. I think the Giants will leapfrog them. It doesn't mean shit. It's just my own personal pride of us not being in the cellar. That's all it means. It's just my own. Something I got to throw in there because you're right. It means absolutely nothing. It means nothing.
Because honestly, both teams have their flaws, right? I don't think. I don't think that the Giants are. A lot of people believe they might be on a playoff run. I think there's limitations on the offense, but we'll get into them in a minute. The Cowboys. The problem that I'm having with the Cowboys right now is they're window dressing. They do so many beautiful things on offense. I'm teasing there. No, man, relax. Let's get relax there. Throw some cold water.
It just means it doesn't mean anything considering from third place, fourth place to third place. It's doesn't really.
I understand the progress and all that stuff, but you have to ask yourself this question. We'll get. Let's do the Giants segment in a minute. Stop interrupting me, no, Matt. I'm trying to get through this. I'm just kidding. But for the Cowboys, I hate. If I'm a Cowboy fan, I hate it right now. I hate it here right now because my offense is championship level. My defense is subpar. My special teams is spectacular. Like, to think about how to strategize. Like, if you had a defense on the Cowboys, you know how hard they'd be to play. You know how hard it is to defend. Like, most teams can defend 35 to the 50. You can't even do that. So if you gave them the ball, let's say inside the 35-yard line on a touchback, and they have a good defense, let's say, they don't have to do anything but get to the 50 because their guy can kick a 70-yard field goal. So how do you even play defense when you have to defend basically 15 yards? That's basically all you have to do, right? Or 25 yards, excuse me. My math is a little off. 25 yards. You can get half of that in one play, right? But unlike most teams whose kickers need to at least get to the 40 to attempt a 60-yard field goal or whatever the case may be, right? This Cowboy team, if you put a defense around them, strategically, I don't know how I can play them in late game situations in like those 2-minute situations where I might have to kick it for the half or I might be able to walk off kick. That's how good their offenses and their kickers are. But defensively, if you can't stop anybody, strategically, I don't care. As long as I get more touches than them and I make them punt once or twice, we're going to win because even the worst offenses look good against the Cowboys. That's when you know you have a bad defense. When the worst offenses in football who can't do shit all of a sudden run up and down.
Russ looked great against the Cowboys.
Right.
Russ Wilson looked great against the Cowboys defense.
Every other game looked like ass shit. Okay? And in the game against the Cowboys, we're all like, turning the clock back. Not me. I didn't say it, but everybody else was like, turn the clock back. What are you talking about, Adam? Start Russell Wilson. Next game, shit the bed. Shit the fucking bed. Comes in one play against the Eagles, throws a fucking incomplete pass. Like, what do you do? Comes against the Saints and gets sacked. I mean, you can't make this shit up. And then against the Cowboys, resurrection. If fucking Russell Wilson could play the Cowboys every week, he'd be traded for a first round pick. I mean, my God.
But yeah, Cowboys though, they need to really get that defense in check, or it's going to be a long, long year for that football team. I promise you, because the schedule. Their schedule was pretty tough too, man. It's not like NFC East, the whole NFC East division schedule was pretty tough. People I know talk about how hard the Giants' schedule is, but really the whole NFC East schedule is pretty much very similar, except for a few games. So They all got tough schedules, man. So it's just not going to get any easier for the Cowboys. So they better hope to figure something out.
Easier for any team, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. On that defensive side of football, they better figure it out. But let's go to Monday night real quick, and let's talk about Monday night. It had a similar finish Monday night, walk-off fashion. Chicago Bears taking care of the Washington Commanders on Monday night with a game-winning field goal with the clock ticking down to 0. Still like this could be turned to a great series. I want to see this game every year, like you said, Adam. I wouldn't mind. The Bears, Commanders, man. Caleb, Jaden Daniels going back and forth, going at it, man. This is a pretty good game. What's your thoughts on it on Monday night, Adam?
Well, I'm going to put pound the table for the NFL. Since the NFL wants to do 18 games, or they do 17 games with an extra game, why can't you why can't you do this for the NFL fans that we want to see? Because we always want to see. We wanted to see Leaf versus Manning, but Leaf stunk. These two guys are still ascending and having positive things happen to them. And why wouldn't we want to see this for the next decade? We talk about it all the time. Brady, Manning, even though they weren't in the same draft class, we saw that almost every year, not only in the playoffs, but just in the regular season we would see it, because not only would they finish in first place, both those teams in their division, but it was a rivalry that built over the years. These two guys are in the same conference. They're basically the same age, and there was controversy on which one was going where, right? Would Caleb go home? Would Jaden go first, right? Would they not go at all, right? And these top three quarterbacks, you got to shout out Drake Manuel's NFC East show, but shout out Drake May. He's having a phenomenal year as well. These three quarterbacks in this top three, I want to see them play each other, because that's what you build this franchise on, the NFL, right? We talk about Mahomes. There's got to be a new changing of the guard, so to speak, of quarterbacks. Like everybody likes Aaron Rodgers, but we got like 11 games left to that guy, if that, right? We hopefully have another, 100 games of these two guys hopefully playing together in the next 10 years or so, So I want to see this rivalry in and out in a nutshell. It's just like, it would be like Giants, it would be like Dart and everybody else. Like, you want to start to see these young quarterbacks play, and every year NFL keep this one going. It's shown to an instant classic. We can count the series 1-1 right now on a last-second Hail Mary last year and a walk-off field goal this year. Kind of redemption for the Bears, who probably had this game circled on their calendar, let's be real, right? The drama that goes in with this game. Let's think the storyline. Ben Johnson turns around, as he was getting this job. Now he's, playing against the team that he, rejected the offer from, that wanted him. And he's coming in with a new team, Caleb Williams, who should have been that draft pick, but he's not, and so many things. And then how they went last year. And like I said, in last week's episode, it was a tale of two seasons after that game for these two teams. One team ascended to the top of the conference. The other one became a bottom dweller. Right now, I don't know if that's going to happen with these teams, but it really, you got to think Chicago might have found something to say, listen, we might not be the best team in the conference, but we can win some games, and this is one we won, and we gave it back to them last year as they stole a victory from us. Remember, it was basically a collapse by the Bears that got the Commanders back into it, right? So they didn't collapse this time. DeAndre Swift, and you want to talk about tackling? I think that was Trey Amos. Like, dude, I'm giving you so much credit, and that's how you go to running back. That's how you get DeAndre Swift to the ground. I mean, that guy. You have a running back coming on you. You either made a business decision or you just stink at football, because you had him dead to rights to just run your body into him and throw him out of bounds, and you whiffed. And that could have been and that was the difference in the game. You tackle them there and they go for a field goal and you're bend but don't break defense. You got it. The other thing I will say is uncharacteristic mistakes by the offense and Jaden Daniels. A couple balls slipping out of his hands, some fumbles that he had. He did not look himself. And if he doesn't look himself, like I've been saying, the Commanders don't look like themselves, right? And it's similar to how I guess we could say with JD with New York. If that guy doesn't play good and he's making mistakes, the team is going to lose because there's nobody else out there that can make plays the same way and have the same magic. So it was a tail game right there that you saw with Jaden Daniels. He played. There were some moments you're like, damn, spectacular, right? Broken coverage down the sideline for McCaffrey, but then the money down, they give it the handoff that basically cost them the game in the rain. So this is Washington's gonna have to figure it out. They're still second in the division, still at 3-3. They still have a long way to go, but there's still a lot of time for them to catch up. But if they had won this game, I would have been like, you know what? Maybe we need to look at Washington differently. But now they lost this game, I'm still holding out that their defense may be their Achilles heel, but Jaden Daniels, if he doesn't play magical, this team is just average.
I mean, yeah, and for what it's worth, they're just missing that one last extra piece on that offense. Obviously, Terry McLaurin's still out with the injury, or I can't even remember what he's dealing with now. I forgot. But But they're just missing that extra little piece that adds that one more something else, a little more dynamic to the offense, man. I think, and it shows. But Jaden Daniels still out there giving it everything he's got. He's still, I mean, overall, he still performed well. 19 and 26, 211 yards, 3 touchdown passes. Ran the ball well. Also ran the ball well. 52 yards on the ground. So I mean, this guy, he's legit. He's definitely got, like you said. I mean, a lot of mistakes, like you said, in this game. It was kind of a little bit sloppy, and they got off to a slow start as well. Washington did in this one. They definitely got off to a slow start before they would start picking things up a little bit. But I mean, Debo was hobbled in this one, and like I said, no Terry McLaurin. The run game wasn't what it normally is. I mean, Bill, he had 61 yards on the ground. So you got to take it. Sometimes win some, you lose some when it comes to that. But I mean, this game, they had a chance right in the end there, and that turnover at the end was the difference in this game. That's what absolutely killed them. I mean, they were going down, icing the game, trying to just they were just running the clock. They were trying to put it away, and that turnover came at just the worst possible time, man. I think Jaden Daniels probably in hindsight when he looks at the film, realizes that he should have just never even tried. He should have just held onto that football and went down and took the L on that play, man, instead of trying to still get it in there to Bill Krosky Merritt.
Well, it's a tale of two halves. A tale of two halves. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I don't think, it's on him, but you did see when you play, the ball was a little slippery. And I think sometimes we're not ready for that, rain or that light rain, the rain that's kind of slick. It's not heavy yet. That makes that ball probably slicker. And I don't think you'll see him play that bad a game again. I think he's played a couple bad games. I don't know if it's a knee injury, if he's pressing too hard. But other than that, other than the turnovers, they were moving the ball up and down the field. Like, they weren't having too much problem.
Well, that's what I was saying. The only thing that made him seem like he had a bad game was because of the turnovers, the interception, the fumble at the end there. I mean, but otherwise, he still had good, solid numbers overall. I mean, through 3 touchdown passes. So, and he ran the ball effectively as well. So, even with that knee, with the brace on his knee. So, I just, like you said, I mean, it's just things happen sometimes. That was it. And sometimes your mind's not going to work that fast to realize maybe I should just tuck this and hold on to it and go down with it. But when you start mishandling that situation, you don't want to risk a turnover, and trying to force that in there like that ended up being a very costly mistake. So it's unfortunate for the Washington Commanders in this one to take that L, but it was a great game, and it's great to see these 2 young quarterbacks battling like that 2 years in a row, actually giving us absolute classics. 2 years in a row, man, and it will be fun to be able to continue watching this. If you could watch this every year, what's going on, Ludwig?
Hey, Ludwig, how are you?
Appreciate you popping in, man. So yeah, this is a tough one for the Washington Commanders, but I think this team overall still will be all right. I think they'll be okay because Jaden Daniels, I think, really is just that good, and I think it's tough to hold greatness like him down for too much, man. I think you got a sample size a little bit last season, in the postseason in particular, watching the way he was able to perform and rise up even on the bigger stages. And I think this season is going to be it's going to have these moments like this. This was like I said, a tough one, man. This came down to just a couple of mental mistakes, honestly. That was the difference in this football game. And I think the Commanders, when it's all said and done, will still be able to find some success and still challenge the Philadelphia Eagles for this division title.
God, I love our quarterback.
It was good to have a quarterback. It was great to have a quarterback. It does. I was talking to some guy earlier today, just some random guy I was ran into, and I was out running some errands. And he saw me with all my Giant shit on, so he just started, talking about, how to feel to have a quarterback now. Yeah. I don't even know how to act now. I just feel like dancing sometimes now. I just got a quarterback. Got a guy that can play.
Well, and I guess that's a good segue into.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go back to Thursday Night Football.
So, we've talked a lot about Thursday Night Football, and we don't need to necessarily recap it here, but let's talk about that feeling. The reason I said that is I'm reading online that, our quarterback's out there saying, I trust my left side. I think Andrew Thomas is the best left tackle in the league. That's the type of shit I want to hear my quarterback say. That's the type of confidence that he's already out there instilling in people. When you say, Mac, that you're ready to dance because you have a quarterback, this is the feeling I wanted you all to have. This is the feeling that I wanted to have, that we needed to have as a team, as an organization, as a fan base. You know what that feeling is? The feeling is knowing on Sunday against Denver, we have a chance. We may not win,
Yep.
we have a chance. If you went in there with Russell Wilson, we have no chance. Daniel Jones, you might as well not even watch the game, right? But when you have this kid, what he's doing right now is he's bringing that energy, the enthusiasm, the high level of play, the stuff we talk about, the things that I've been banging the table for, and the things that when we were doing our scouting process, I told you he'd be good at, right? And the reason why I say this is I've had many conversations about big moments in big games. Guess what? Thursday was the biggest moment of them all. The Giants have been ass cheeks on prime time for as long as I can remember. His first primetime game, not only does he put belt to ass to the opponent, but he puts belt to ass to a division rival who's basically been laughing at us for the better part of a decade. Okay? Has been laughing at us the better part of a decade. And so their defense is a great chance to pitch a shutout too. I think you're underestimating that Bronco defense. But the point is that this team has that energy, that life. This is the feeling you had when Eli Manning was in his prime, that you didn't give a damn who was on the other side. Because I have Eli Manning. You may not like him, but I damn know sure he can play football. And maybe Jackson Dart doesn't end up being in the top 10. I will tell you this, from what I see, I know and feel his energy through the TV. I can feel the magneticness that's going on. He is going to outlast Dable. So people, don't worry about Dable. Don't worry about Dable. Worry about, I'm giving it to you as a content creator. I'm just saying, throw some respect on that Broncos team. They've earned it. You can still be a Giant fan and respect the opponent. But the point is, Jackson Dart gives you that energy that this week, you're like, we can beat Bo next week and go in there. You haven't had that energy in a while. And it changes your momentum. Right? At 2-4, you don't care if you win or lose because you're 2-4. You want to just see the kid play. How good is he going to be today? And if things go right, maybe he ends up driving the ball downfield. But a game against the Eagles, everything on the line, you caught him at the right time, build off of this. But this energy, what they were doing against the Eagles, throwing the ball up, people said, he can't throw deep. He can throw deep. You got to understand, Jackson Dart in the game, I thought his best throw, honestly, was to Wan'Dale Robinson, where he moved out of the pocket after almost getting sacked, reset himself, and threw a sidearm pass to Wan'Dale in a way where all Wan'Dale had to do was turn his body, make the catch, and turn, and he's gone. There was no turning back to the ball or falling or fading like certain other quarterbacks we've had on this team. And that's the difference, because then you can make a play like Wan'Dale Robinson made, right? Or little Jordan Humphrey made, because the guy is trusting everything. He's out there playing ball, balling out. And why I say I love the kid's attitude is because if you just sit down, take 5 minutes, go rewatch a Daniel Jones video and go rewatch a Jackson Dart video, and you'll understand the energy that you're feeling. That energy that you feel when you can actually hear a sentence being completed, when you actually understand that the guy behind that podium actually has confidence in what he's doing, whether or not the coach does or not. Who cares about that? That's irrelevant. He has confidence that he can go out there and make plays. He's going out there after the Saints game and saying, no, we're not going out and playing like that. When did you see that or hear that from Daniel Jones? You didn't. And that's a whole mindset. There are guys buying into this system right now that probably wouldn't have bought in even if Russell Wilson was there, because this guy is the goods. And again, he doesn't have to be spectacular. He's a winner. Now, I'm hoping that he can do what he did at Ole Miss and throw for 4,200 yards and 29 touchdowns and be great. But right now, let's take the baby steps. The moment's not too big for him. I think going this week, won't be too big for him. But That's the feeling you're getting. The feeling that I was for 6 years banging this table for. This is the feeling you now get. This guy has played 3 games, and you're oozing with energy. 3 games. Imagine what happens as he gets better.
Yeah. Everything you just said. Jackson Dart, man. Jackson Dart. This kid, as a rookie, his pocket awareness, like his eyes are always downfield, looking to make a play, knowing when to run. It was just great. I mean, the way that one the first big play hit the Jordan little Jordan Humphreys high, giving him an opportunity to go up and get that thing high pointed. Man, these are the kind of throws you want to see a quarterback making, man, out there making the right decision. You're right, that Wandale throw, that was also, like you said, a great play. It's just like you said, watching Jackson Dart, man. It's just refreshing. It is refreshing. Because look, I love Eli Manning too, but Eli Manning was a pocket guy, period. He wasn't doing all the running the razzle dazzle, running around and all that. He was just traditional drop back pocket passer. Don't get it twisted. He won us football games. He won us championships, and I love Eli. Don't even misconstrue my words, but it's just Jackson Dart, man. It's just something. As a Giants fan, I never got to actually truly witness our quarterback. I mean, Hostetler was, he could move around a little bit, while he was back there as well. But it's just fun to watch. And Cam Scatterboo, Cam Scatterboo, running back 1. Sorry, Tyrone Tracy. It's just how it goes, man. Cam Scatterboo took your spot, bro. That's what it's got to be, man. You're gonna have to be the compliment now, unfortunately. But it's just the way it goes. Offensive line solid, man. Look, it's not perfect, but at the same time, Jackson Dart makes it look better. But the things he's able to do, he helps this offensive line out. That's something Daniel Jones was never able to do, man. He was never able to kind of give this bad O-line a little bit of a hand with, just the way he moved around in the pocket. Jackson Dart, it's a whole different ball game, man. And yeah, like I said, shout out to little Jordan Humphreys coming up from the practice squad, number getting called. This guy's already made a bigger impact than guys that have been here since week 1. Already making a bigger impact. So little Jordan Humphreys had a great game on Thursday night as well. We don't have, like you said, Adam, we don't have to dig deep into this one, man. Brian Burns is on pace for Defensive Player of the Year. He's definitely in that conversation right now for sure. It's got to be. And it's just right now, it's just fun being a Giants fan again right now. Look, I know we don't have the most talented football team, and I still don't necessarily, I don't have crazy expectations, but at the same time, I feel like we're a competent football team again. I feel like we got a quarterback. We got a good young nucleus. The fact that our young guys, Dart and Cam Scatterboo were leading the way on Thursday night against the world champs. These 2 rookies leading the way. It was like they were like, follow me. They put this team up on their shoulders, and everybody just gravitated to these young guys. And I love the culture that's being built with these 2, man. So just got to keep trending forward, man. Keep getting up and keep. Yeah, like you said, Lou. There's hope. There's definitely hope. And Flott, yeah, Banks, yeah, you can forget about it too, bro. Flott is now officially, CB2. You can forget about it, Banks. You can run some kicks back or something. Congratulations. I think he had a baby, had some twins a day or something. Congratulations on that. But yeah, it just is what it is. But yeah. So let's talk about Denver though. Like you said, let's start moving into that. It's gonna be a tough one on the road. Denver Broncos defense is serious, man. Serious business. And we was talking about it before we came on the air, Adam. And we were talking about it before we got on the air. Like me and Adam, we were talking about how Denver, offensively they do enough. It's not like some kind of spectacular offense, but it's effective. It's very, very effective. J.K. Dobbins running the football well. Bo Nix makes really, really good decisions, and is just really solid. I mean, He's not like Peyton Manning. He's not electric like Jaden Daniels or some of the other guys from his class, like Drake May and those guys. But he's still really, really good, really, really consistent, really, really solid, man. I think the New York Giants are definitely going to have their hands full. But once again, like you said, I mentioned earlier, we don't go into this game just feeling like there's no chance, because we feel like the New York Giants team now that we have now does have a chance against anybody. I feel like pretty much. So, Adam, I don't know what's your thoughts on Denver and the Giants on Sunday. Excuse me. Damn.
Well, first I want to say you brought up Guy Cam Scatterboo. I have mistakenly said he might not have won, but he won the Air Ground Player of the Week. I mean, I would give Rico Dowell a great, amount of respect, if you're looking at numbers, but they gave it to Cam Scatterboo, who really has changed everything. And I like having him around. He is a running back. I'm stop telling me he's a fullback. He just once they open up big holes for him, and you'll see he'll have a 60-yarder here, a 40-yarder here. He'll score some touchdowns. But it's good to go into Denver, who is coming off a stretch of games where their defense has really helped them out. And I know a lot of people are discrediting Denver, and as a fan, you have every right to do that. Their offense hasn't been great, right? But there's that word. It hasn't been impressive. Well, folks, you're looking at that side of the ball. They play two sides of the football, all right? Denver's offense didn't look impressive. Their defense was dominant, absolutely dominant, And I'm just saying, like, you may not want to look at the numbers. They had minus 82 yards of offense or some crazy stat line. They had 10 sacks. Justin Fields, he stinks. That offensive line is pretty good. They have first-round picks on that offensive line. And they were running around guys like it was nobody's business. And they have Patrick Surtain and Raheem Morris. They have a solid defensive unit. So
that's a good point. They are more than a touchdown favorite on us. So that's not really.
Well, I'm not saying. That's what Vegas is saying. I'm talking about Giant fans who I'm listening to, who aren't giving any credit to Denver, which is fine. I want to be respectful. I'm going to pick the Giants win because I'm a fan. I get it, but let's not throw shade on this. Oh, they're not impressive. They've won their games in ways that we talk about. Win ugly. That's what they do. They win ugly. They find ways to win games. That's what they've done the entire season. So it may not be impressive, but their formula is working. Freaking phenomenal defense and make just enough plays on offense to win the game. And that's when you when you have an offense like that, Bo Nix can go out there and they don't have to worry about certain things because they know their defense can get them the ball back. And so, coming home in this atmosphere, it's going to be, a raucous crowd. Think about this. This crowd hasn't seen their team in 2 weeks. Their team is coming in tied for first place with a chance to, in the soft part of their schedule right now. They have the Jets, they have the Giants, and they have the Raiders. All three teams back to back. If they can go 3-0 in this little stretch of games, they can really position themselves well for the final, 8 or 9 games down the stretch as they're, trying to get to the top seed or in the playoff hunt. Right, I know it's early to talk, but you got to talk about it now because we're about to be 7 weeks in. We're about to be halfway through the friggin' season soon. Okay, so
it's crazy too.
So you got to start thinking about this and start to see who's above you and what's happening. If you're looking at this on a micro level, I like their coaching staff better than ours. And their defense, I just give them a little bit of credit because they are leading the league in sacks. I'm not just going to take that away from them. I hope that Bonito and Cooper don't give our tackles trouble, but I'm also worried about the inside because, believe it or not, JMS has been doing okay, and if he can't really play or he's hampered by a concussion or whatever went on in his face, it might be a bit of a weakness for this team. So I'm not.
Slotman came in and played pretty well on Thursday night.
Yeah, this is a different defense that they're facing than the banged up. Jalen Carterless, lethargic Eagles. This team is going to – I'm just saying they're going to be revved because they haven't been in front of their home fans in 2 weeks. And it's different when you're there. You made all those mistakes on the road and you're not comfortable. You went from Philadelphia to New England to England and now back here. Your team is finally happy to be home. And they're going to try to give these fans what they want. And if you're looking at, like I said, at a macro level this season and their path to the playoffs, again, because, again, this team went to the playoffs last year. So to me, anything less than that is a failure. This is a chance with Kansas City, being one game behind, and you're being tied with San Diego, or excuse me, LA, the team that I think you lost to this season. I think they lost to, if I'm not mistaken, they lost to the Chargers. I could be wrong, but I think they lost to them already. And then you slipped away with that game with the Colts with that field goal, right? This team could be in that conversation, right? The announcer said it themselves. They have a championship level defense. When you have a championship level defense that can get you out of binds, like the Giants last week went 11 of 16 on third down. 11 of 16. You know how unheard of that is? They're not going to still have that same output against Denver. On the contrary, right? The Eagles went 1 of 11. And if you look at the numbers from the Eagle game and the Giant game, they were virtually almost the same in terms of what they were doing. A little more here for the rushing for the Giants, a little less, but there were comparable numbers. And you're like, well, what really lost in the game was third down. What lost the Jet game? The Jet game, that was third down, third and longs. That's what they're going to try to feast on, right? To get them off the field. And that's how they win. If they get the Giants off the field, because, again, every game is not going to be 11 of 16. That is what, a 70% clip of getting third downs. And that's unheard of in the NFL, and that's partially due to the Dart effect, as I like to call it. The Dart effect is him being able to raise the level of play of everybody else. So we'll see what happens. But in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be the toughest opponents we've faced since Kansas City. And that's what gives me a little bit of pause, because we don't really have the same weapons that we do. I know there is a rumor, and the rumor going around the Giants should trade for a receiver. Let's talk about this for a minute. Mac, if the Giants win, I believe they'll be hell-bent on getting a receiver. If they lose, I don't know if it'll be the same gusto of getting a receiver. They may still trade for one to give Dart somebody to develop to get the offense to be more than a one or two trick pony. But I don't know because apparently they opened up cap space. They did this, they did that. So there's something is brewing over in 1925 Drive. For me, it depends on this game. If they lose this game, I don't need a receiver. Even if they lose this game by like a field goal or something like that, in a fluky fashion, the Giants played well enough to win, but they didn't. Don't trade any assets yet, because there are going to be a lot of guys that are going to be free agents this year that you could possibly sign right now. If you're going to, like, for me,
they re-signed one guy from training camp, right? Fells?
Juju Wells, yes.
So I mean, obviously you're looking for something a little more than that, a little more juice than that. But I mean, that's just something that's already one little move they made at the position right now. But yeah, there's some names out there.
Here's a list.
So
here's a list that was shown, right? They were saying, someone said Chris Olave. This is a chat. They said Calvin Ridley, Romeo Doubs, Jacoby Myers, John Mechie, Jerry Jeudy. Like, if I can get Jerry Jeudy for a fifth, I'm doing that, because I know that he's
absolutely
a round pick. I don't know if I want to give up, let's say they have Chris Olave for a third. We don't have a third, but I'm not giving up that much for him with a concussion unless I'm signing him. Now, would I like him and Neighbors? That'd be fantastic. But then what that does in the draft, though, is that means you have to get interior line help, because what I think is going to happen this season is the Giants are going to be competitive towards the end of the year. May, steal wins here and there, and their record may not indicate how good they are. And the next year they're going to invest in the O-line, and they're going to invest in other receivers, and they're really going to start to compete for that spot. I don't want to bring in a receiver for a rental. If you're going to do an Olave, a Calvin Ridley, who I like, right, Jacoby Myers, who can help, but if the Giants lose and they're 2-5, why am I doing that? Unless you're getting the Jerry Jeudy for a fifth-round pick to kind of give some juice to the offense, even though the season is lost, to build some chemistry, because Malik Neighbors does have more of a knee injury than was first reported. That's something you may want to look into. So, of those guys, if I can get a fifth for Jeudy, I'm doing it tomorrow. I'll give them whatever fifth they want, 22, 20, 27, 20, 26, whatever, right? John Mechie is interesting. Romeo Doubs, I think, is interesting. But Romeo Doubs is a guy I don't think I would give more than a sixth-round pick or something like that for. And John Mechie was intriguing coming out, but again, he may not cost that much money, so I may not want to give up resources for him when I can just wait to the end of the year and give him a contract. But obviously, it depends on this game, right? So,
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if this was true. I'm not sure if I didn't really get to substantiate, but I was reading about another receiver that's possibly could become available. I mean, via trade. It's talking about Jalen Waddle. I don't know. I don't know how if that was accurate. If it was something might have been fake news. I didn't really get to really. It was something I just kind of saw a little bit before, not that long before coming on the air. As a matter of fact, how would you think about a guy like that if Miami was looking to move a guy like Jalen Waddle? What would you think about a guy like that?
unfortunately, he's not my cup of tea. I think we have so many guys that are similar. I would want somebody a little different. Calvin Ridley, a little bit bigger bodied, like a Jerry Jeudy kind of guy. That's just the way I think that every receiver that we have is a Smurf, right? We always get these little speedsters. Now, Waddle has done some things, but to me, reminds me of a better version of Rondo Robinson. Romeo Dobbs is intriguing to me. But for Waddle, for me, I just see a faster version of Wandale Robinson. I think he's better than Wandale Robinson, obviously, but I already have that guy on the team. So why am I going to trade for a guy like him? Even, he's good, but why am I going to trade for him? Now, if you don't want Wandale Robinson, who I think is in a contract year, if I'm not mistaken, then yes, you bring in Waddle and let him get chemistry with Jackson Dart. He also can do a lot more in the what's that game? The little end arounds and stuff, little sweeps, little jet sweeps. Wandale Robinson can do that. I mean, Waddle can do that. So I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not going to be mad if they we're getting a good player. Oh, you friggin' jerk! You hate a good player. No, I just think system wise for me in this giant offense, I just think I would like to see somebody slightly different than some of the guys that we kind of prototypically, go after. And I would like to see a Calvin Ridley. Look at little Jordan Humphrey. Look how we utilize that guy. You don't think we utilize Jerry Jeudy, 6'2", 6'3" kind of guy in the red zone? Speed, a little taller than Malik Neighbors, tough guy, can be our number one right now coming in. I'm not saying that Waddle can't be that, but I'm just saying for me, I want to look what Dart does with 50-50 guys. Get him more of those players.
That's a good, that's a very fair point, and I definitely get your point there. Right about now, in my opinion, pretty much any of those guys will be upgrades in the position for what it's worth. So honestly, if we can get our hands on any of those guys right about now, I think it can make a difference in this offense. Because I think Jackson Dart has already demonstrated after watching that game against Philly. I mean, let's face it, you went into that game where Wandale Robinson was the best wide receiver you had, and look, I'm not as sour on Wandale as you are, but at the end of the day, I still understand that it's not necessarily a good formula for success when he's your best wide receiver.
When I look at George Pickens, I am.
And it's like, my thing is, the fact that Jackson Dart went into that game against the champs on Thursday night, with Wandale being his best guy, his top guy, was going to be the guy that was most likely going to be his most reliable target. It's just, it goes volumes to show you like what this New York Giants team could be on to, man, because Jackson Dart's a guy that clearly can kind of elevate the talent around him a little bit, and that's what he did. Like I said, you got a nice solid game out of little Jordan Humphries playing his first game of the season. You know what I mean? And Wandale Robinson,
but that's
once again had a good game, and just Jalen Hyatt even made a few catches. You know what I mean? Like for what it's worth.
But that's when we have a quarterback, he can make guys. Now again, the Eagles. I'm not trying to take anything away. They didn't have a great secondary back there. This secondary will be a little better. We'll see how well these guys perform again against a stronger secondary that was like with New Orleans. New Orleans had a couple of strong guys in the secondary. That also Denver has. So if they can make moves against this guys and make plays, great. But there's clearly a reason why the Giants are looking at receiver. They obviously know that they don't have enough weapons going forward with Malik Neighbors out and Darius Slayton, looking like an ostrich and burying his head in the sand anytime something gets hard, and Wandale Robinson is only, he has a ceiling. He's like, if we had George Pickens right now, Giants are not even looking to trade for a receiver. They are saying, screw that. We got Pickens. We'll work this out, right? because they'll have Pickens and I'm hoping that the Cowboys give him up because that'd be a target I go after for the Giants. But all right, bring that guy in, him and Malik Neighbors. Woo! I mean, good God, with Jackson Dart, my Lord, I would love that.
Well, we can only dream of that. We can definitely only dream of that. But yeah, I just mean like I said, I just think when we got a guy like Jackson Dart, man, he's an elevator, man. He's going to elevate those guys around him. And real quick, my fault before I move this, forgot to say what's going on to Zion in the chat, man, and Mosley, man. I appreciate y'all stopping in too. Shout out to both of y'all, man. Make sure I go sub to Zion Zenith, man, at his channel, Zion Zenith, man.
Let me just land this plane real quick, and we can go on to the next thing. The thing about Jackson Dart elevating, this is what we talked about last year. Some of the points that I've made for the last years, and I'm not trying to make this about me. All I'm trying to say is when you articulate something and you see something, that's what you know, right? You're seeing a guy go out there with lack of talent, injuries across the board, off the line, not spectacular. If you were to tell me who's off the line is better coming into the year, you'd probably say Jalen Hurts, right? And he's doing this in a game of this magnitude. And that's the difference between he may not have statistically, blown up the stat sheet, but what matters is in the moments I needed you, was he there? And he was. And he did it in a way where you can't even remember a throw that was like, oh, that was cringeworthy. Did he have a bad throw that was a miscommunication? Yes, that's not his fault for throwing the ball in a spot and the receiver not looking. That's great awareness by the defender and no awareness by Theo Johnson. So when you look at these things and you're evaluating quarterbacks, and let's hope Dart has a long career with the Giants, I want to watch this kid evolve. I think he's going to end up being a star in this league, and we're going to have a guy who you're going to see on billboards, posters, ads all over the place. Like, he's got that kind of charisma. He's got that kind of look. He stays healthy, and he gets his team into the playoffs. Hell, he's won the championship.
Healthy.
Right?
Got to stay out that blue tent, man. Got to stay out of that blue tent, though. That's the one thing we need to stop seeing is him going into the blue tent every game. We got to figure that out.
With that being said, that's why when I was arguing about quarterbacks to people, this is what you want to see. When a guy can elevate the people around him, right, without having much around him, that's what Matthew Stafford.
Back to the old name, brother. What's good, man? I'm assuming that's AK.
Yes, that is AK. He's got it. The reality check, I guess, is that his team is not as good as it was before. But who knows? I could be an Eagle fan. But welcome, AK. But like I said, Jackson Dart, I'm going to enjoy this season. I'm going to enjoy this ride because we haven't seen it like this. And again, it's not about the stats, people. It's about how he plays in the moments that we need him to play in big spots.
What's going on, Alex? Man? Thanks for stopping in, man. Feels good to have a quarterback back in New York, man. It feels really good to have a quarterback, a QB in New York, man.
Go ask the Jets how I feel right now.
Hope you down there. Hope you down there soaking it in, man. Enjoying it down there, man. Down south, down there, Alex, man. Hope you're getting to soak it all in, man.
He's having a blast. I don't want to speak for him, but through our conversations, he's having a blast.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Good to hear, man. Always good to hear. But
it's always good to see good people succeed. So he's a good one. Right?
Absolutely, he's definitely one day
he's running a network. Hopefully, he'll hire us. When he's running the networks, come on and be two angry, grizzled old men going, the Giants!
Oh, you coming back? You get back in front of the cameras, AK? It's good. Can't wait, man. Can't wait, brother. Happy for you, man. You went back to the old name, going back to your roots, man. Ain't nothing wrong. That's how you got to do, man.
Listen, we've all had a rebrand. The Undertaker went from the dead man to the American Badass back to the Undertaker. Sometimes you got to change. You got Hulk Hogan going from red and yellow to black and white. You know what I mean? The NWO. So, do what you got to do, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, any predictions for this week? Denver Giants, man. What
I'm
you got?
Pick the Giants to win, but with cautiously. I don't think I'm not going to pick them as my upset special, but being a Giant fan, I'm picking them. But it's going to be tough. It really is. This is going to be the toughest game I think they've played probably all season. I can't say this defense is the best defense we're going to see so far. And I really do believe this game is going to set the tone for the Giants. If they win this game, buckle up, folks. We're in the playoff hunt. If they lose this game, just sit back and enjoy the kid, because it's going to be another one of those seasons that it may not end in a postseason berth, but at least you'll be able to have somebody watch. So.
Oh man, as much as I'm feeling this right now, the whole energy of this New York team, man. I'm once again, man. I'm gonna be the bad guy here, man. Once again, man. I got
hater.
Denver at home, man. I picked Denver at home. Tough environment to go into for this young New York Giant team. Thin air, Mile High, up in Denver at Mile High Stadium, man. All these things play a part when you go to Denver, man. And that's a tough spot to play for these young guys on the road. I think we're going to see a better performance than we saw in New Orleans. As far as I think we're going to see a cleaner game, cleaner performance. But I just think ultimately might be a little too much, and I think Denver gets us in the end, man. So I'm gonna go to Broncos here. Hopefully they prove me wrong, man. Hopefully they prove me wrong though, like they did last week. They proved me wrong last week. Hopefully they can do it again. I'm kind of going with that logic as well, but
well, you make a good point. 2 weeks on the road, finally in front of their home fans, that energizes you, a bit. Might put a little pressure on them in terms of having to perform, but, they're coming in, and you got to think that their fans know they have a chip on their shoulder. We mentioned already about the soft part of the schedule, the soft portion of the schedule, and don't think that it doesn't matter. Sean Payton is going to have these boys ready to go, so.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
Turnovers will be key. You eliminate them, you win the game. You get turnovers in this game. The Giants have won the turnover battle in each of the wins that Jackson Dart has started, right? So 5 turnovers. Obviously, you don't want any turnovers, but if you're sloppy with the ball, conditions a little slicker, they hit a little harder. They're coming after the ball a little bit more aggressively. You throw a ball up here that's intercepted. You never know what could happen on both sides. It works on both sides, but we'll see. And if they get their running game going on the offense for Denver, it's over for the Giants, because I don't think they're gonna. If they get up, I think it'll be pretty hard for the Giants to come back. Not because I don't believe in them, but they're a bit more locked down than the Eagles are right now.
Oh well, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be a great one though. Sunday afternoon, 4:00.
I'm excited.
4:00 window. But AK, man, you said this team's a bunch of Gilbert Grapes. Well, we're gonna get to them right now. Going down to Minnesota on Sunday, man. The Eagles taking on the Vikings on Sunday, man. Adam, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, I want to say this, and I think the Eagles have the leadership to rally. This is going to be a huge game for them. I think they need this win. They need this win badly. I know it's on the road. They've been on basically a 3-game losing streak, and this is going to be the second game on the road. But you've had a 10-day layoff to kind of fix what ails you and kind of get back to being healthy and really find yourselves, really find your identity. I think you need to figure out how you can beat this team. There's a rumor that J.J. McCarthy may start. This is a game where if he is a starter, your defense, I'm looking at, if I'm Big Fangio, I walk in that meeting and I find out J.J. McCarthy's starting, I'm looking at you and be like, listen, back-to-back weeks, 2 rookie quarterbacks can't beat you. 2 rookie quarterbacks can't beat you back-to-back weeks. So I believe the Eagles are going to rally. That's what they do. And I think they're just going to bounce back from their 2-game skid with the 10-day layoff to figure it out against Minnesota.
Interesting. The Eagles, man, this is crazy. They think about it. Last Sunday, the Eagles went into last Sunday, week 5. They went into that week 5 4-0. Start that week. They lead that game on Sunday against the Broncos. On week 5 against Broncos 4-1. They have a short week to go against the Giants and end up 4-2 before the week is out. After being 4-0 at the beginning of the week, they find themselves sitting at 4-2 right now. The Eagles are finicky, man. It's weird. I don't understand. I know, granted, they had the big Jalen Carter injury. That's a big blow, and then Kenyon Mitchell getting injured during the game on Thursday against the Giants. That's also a big loss. That's 2 of your absolute best players on defense, for sure. So it's going to have an impact. But look, the Eagles are known for their depth, man, and for some reason, it just doesn't seem to be quite what it once was. It's not even across that offensive line. There's been some issues, man. I mean, some serious issues across the O line, as we saw firsthand when they were playing the Giants on Thursday night. it's just something about this team. I think this is the defending world champs, and I still believe this is a very good football team. Look at the talent they still have on this roster; it's still phenomenal, and stacks up with anybody, any other team around this league. But I think the Eagles have to come out here against the Minnesota Vikings, and this has to be they have to make a statement. I think they not only have to win, they have to, like I said, make a statement. They have to let everybody know, put the league back on notice that they are the defending champs. And I think they need to go out there and figure out a way to blow the doors off the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota on their field. I think that's the kind of statement they need to make because things are just kind of slipping away, it seems like, for this Philadelphia Eagle football team right now. Just not the team we're expected to see. I thought at least that this team was going to come out and really just kind of really run away with things this season, man. You know, we talk about having been back-to-back NFC East division champs in so how many years, and we thought the Eagles were definitely, you know, a slam dunk for that. But right now, you know what I mean, not quite the slam dunk that we thought, at least for right now. I mean, plenty of time to make things better to right this ship. But they got to get right, man. It's just they need to find an identity offensively. I think that's the problem offensively. They have no offensive identity whatsoever. It's just kind of
think about this.
It's just kind of whatever happens, whatever work. I mean, we find some things that work here and there, but it's just no true grit. Like last year, you knew this was a running football team. They were going to come out there and run the ball down your throat. And once they did enough of that, then they were just going to be thrown over the top to their all-pro wide receivers. And they just haven't established that kind of offensive philosophy, it seems like, this year in any sense of the word. So Saquon Barkley is off to a very, very slow start to this season, very disappointing start to this season. And A.J. Brown disgruntled and acting a fool, you know, with some of his antics and nonsense, some of the statements he's making. This team's got to get back on the rails, man. Like I said, they got to go out there and start this Sunday. I mean, they've lost the last 2 games in a row. One to a team that they really had no business losing to. Let's face it, they have no business losing to the New York Giants. That's asinine. They got to get back on track, and they need to figure it out. And they got to make a statement against the Minnesota Vikings. I think they go out there and do get the job done. I really believe with this little small kind of like almost like bye week for them. I think they right the ship, man. I think they go out there and they roll the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, you're not wrong. I don't have much. I mean, I'm just looking at it like this. They had a mini bye last year or a bye week last year against Tampa Bay when they were like 500 and they, you know, games were being lost on last second, and they started worse off than they did this season. And this season they're 4-2, and somehow they're still in first place, even with all the stuff that's going on. So if there's any team that I wouldn't, you know, count out, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Somehow they always rally and find a way. And with 10 days off, Nick Sirianni has had these teams figure things out. Now, again, I could be wrong, and they get the doors blown off, and they don't show up at all. But I just feel like, you know, I just feel like they will figure it out. And like I said, if J.J. McCarthy plays, it might play into their favor. A guy who might be a little rusty, who may not take as many chances as Carson Wentz, right? So I don't know. Vic Fangio, they're getting much maligned. They hear the stuff, so they got a lot of work to do. And trust me, they did not like that drubbing they got. So if they want to come out and believe that they're Super Bowl contenders, which we thought of for the first 4 weeks of the year until they lost to Denver, which they had that game in the balance, and basically lost. Had they won that game, right? Had they won that game, it's probably a different story. We're probably not saying, oh my God, they're going to lose to Minnesota. It would have just been like, oh, they lost to the Giants in a fluke. Here we are, right? So, but they've had some victories, and I think we'll see them play in this game. And that's why I'm picking them, because I just think they make adjustments well. So.
Yeah, I mean, AK obviously he's not satisfied with his offensive coordinator, the play calling. It's been weird, man, watching this team. It's just been weird. The disconnect, something's not adding up. Something's weird. I don't know if Nick Sirianni needs to take a little more control of that offense or something, but it's just something's kind of, you know, a little tart up there in Philly, man. But I can't pretend that I'm upset about that either, so I'm not. Not one bit. But
don't be bashful at all, man.
Tampa Bay right now looks like they are running the NFC. I think they're right now looking like now. Every week it's like this opinion changes, but I agree with you. I think Tampa Bay right now is the best team in the NFC right now. As things stand right now, this team is.
They sure play with a lot of passion. That's for sure.
I mean, and Baker Mayfield played with a depleted group of weapons himself on Sunday. I mean, geez,
can that man?
He's out. No Evans, no Goddard. No Godwin, the rookie went down during the game too. The dynamic rookie they had went down during the game. They got to a point where like Sterling Shepard's like their best receiver that they had left, like in that game on Sunday.
And
like,
so what are we talking about, Mac? This brings up a point before we move on. I know it's not takes, but it is Baker. We like Baker here. We like quarterbacks. This is what you talk about elevation. This guy should be in the MVP race because look what he's doing with the player. He made Tez Johnson, who hadn't played a fucking game, kept a touchdown pass. Okay, like this is what we're talking about. And Tampa, he deserves all the accolades that are coming. And who knows? Maybe he's playing at a Super Bowl level. We don't know. That defense is pretty good. They're good enough to win. They have some stars out there, and they do enough with Baker Mayfield, and they really embody their quarterback. And it's going to be fun to watch. The NFC South has two teams that are going to be in a dogfight for at least a wild card, and that's Atlanta and Tampa Bay. But we'll get to that on Premium Takes. Right now, we got to finish up with the NFC East.
Yeah, Zion said he's actually leading the race right now, so that's good because he deserves it. He's been playing really out of his mind. One more game on the docket. Did we pick winners? Oh yeah, you picked the Eagles here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We got one more game. NFC East divisional matchup. Sunday night football.
Wow. Sunday night.
The Dallas Cowboys hosting the Washington Commanders. And what's looking like it could be a pretty big game for positioning in the NFC East, man, Sunday night. What's your thoughts on this one, Adam?
This game is absolutely enormous for these two teams, especially the Washington Commanders, being that they lost to Chicago. The Cowboys, I didn't expect them to. This is why the Cowboy game, losing the Panthers, is also enormous. Because both these teams, had they won, they could drop the game, even though it's a divisional game, and still be kind of in the race for the wild card at some point. But this could be the game that kicks you out of the wild card spot because you lost to the Panthers and then you lose to this Washington team, and next thing you know, your record or conference record, whatever, and you're not in the playoffs. And it's really huge for the standings with right now for the Commanders at least to get back into the race to be in first place. For the Cowboys, it'll at least get you talking in a different direction, right? I really do believe last week's game for the Commanders was an anomaly. I thought they should have won that game, but they lost. But I don't know what they're going to do to stop Dak Prescott. Okay, he's playing phenomenal football right now. And at one point, I was going to pick Washington, but now I'm probably talking myself off a ledge here, and I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys all of a sudden because I just think their offense is hotter, they're better, and I just think they don't have the personnel that matches up well against that. They can do that against Caleb Williams and the Bears, who don't have like the dynamic downfield threats that they do. I mean, they do have DJ Moore and Romeo Dudze and things like that, but I think those receivers, that offense is a little different than the Cowboy offense, where I think they're going to have a little trouble where they can't stop the run. Okay, they gave up mad yards rushing to the Chicago Bears. They also gave up a ton of passing yards, right, to a quarterback who's not having as good of a season. Nothing against Caleb Williams, he's having a solid year, but he's not having a Dak Prescott year. And I was going in with the Commanders, thinking the Commanders are going to win this game, and they're probably going to show me up and give me the finger on Sunday. But I'm flipping it to the Cowboys just because I don't think they're going to lose back-to-back games, and I think this plays into their favor in terms of offense, where they can be in the driver's seat and they don't have to do too much against. I think it's going to be a track meet. That's what I'm saying. So. But I pick it up.
Some reason. I don't know, man. I think I think we're gonna see the Commanders come out here and they're gonna get a big time win here. I believe Jaden Daniels is gonna do what everybody else, pretty much every other quarterback has done to this defense all season long, man, and just it's gonna go out there and torch them, man. I think Debo, hopefully he can come back a little healthier. He's gonna have a big day. I think the Cowboys are just not. I don't think they're gonna have any answers for what Washington is gonna be able to do offensively because the Cowboys' defense is absolutely abysmal. I mean, it's
Well,
just terrible. You said what?
the Commanders not very good either.
Well, I mean, I understand that they're not very good either. I get it, but I just think they're a little better, and I just think offensively, where I hear everything you're saying about what the Dallas Cowboys offense has been pretty, pretty locked, pretty solid. I mean, Dak Prescott definitely in the MVP conversation as well, and George Pickens is just lighting up, and they may even get CeeDee Lamb back this week. But I just think Jaden Daniels is going to come out here and really, really have a big day. I think statistically he's going to go out there and really put some numbers up against this really, really piss poor Dallas Cowboy defense. I made a little correction too. I said Sunday Night Football. My eyes are a little deceiving me when I look down the list. It's not Sunday Night Football. It's they're sending a 4:25 game on Sunday. But either way, I don't know. I can't stand behind this Cowboy defense. I just can't.
Well,
I can't do it. I mean, I get what you're saying. Washington defensively is not exactly lights out either, but I just can't stand behind this Cowboy defense at all. It's absolutely terrible.
well, then
Tudo, thank you in the chat. I see you, Tudo. How you doing out there, brother?
how about this then? All right, let's rephrase it to this. I think the team that makes the less mistakes and is more sound on offense will win the game. Because I feel like it's going to be a track meet up and down, but the offense of the Cowboys, I feel, is a more consistent offense than the offense of the Commanders, right? And the Commanders are prone to turnovers like they were last week, and they have some things that their guys aren't making the explosive that they normally do. And I'm just looking at it like it takes one DB making a play, let's say Jerron Bland, to stop them, right? And I don't know if who's going to win that matchup, but I'm just saying, from my eyes, I'm probably wrong here with picking the Cowboys. But offensively, if I'm going to take an offense, I'm taking the Cowboys right now over the Commanders. Nothing against the Commanders; they just haven't played as well. But it takes one drop pass or one missed opportunity, and next thing you know, you get one less possession, and that could be the difference in the ball game. So, and I think the Cowboys have been in these games more so than the Commanders this season, so they know how to kind of handle that.
Well, I mean, we'll see. It should be a definitely interesting NFC East matchup for sure, man. It should be definitely a good one, man. I'll be definitely tuned in.
No, you won't.
A little bit. I mean, I had the Cowboys and Commanders on my little picture-in-picture screen in the corner of the TV. You know what I mean? I had that popping on.
That's such a 1990s thing.
But yeah, just talking to NFC stuff like we do every Wednesday too, though. Yeah, it's like I said, I can see a lot of points getting scored here for sure. Because you're not looking at neither one of these defenses are necessarily up for the task. So they're going to both. I think both defenses are going to have their hands full. I definitely can agree with that. I just think Washington is going to be the ones that make a little bit more plays. I think their defense is a little bit better, and they're going to have maybe a couple of more stops with the Cowboys. Just unless they can prove me otherwise, that Cowboys defense ain't it. It's bad. It's really bad.
It almost is like fireable bad. Like fire your defensive coordinator, man. Like, I know he's a new defensive coordinator, but there's not been improvement since week one. Week one is like your best defensive performance, right? Like, of all the performances that they've played, that's the best one that they've had, right? I mean, they didn't do anything against the Giants. They got railroaded against the Bears, right? They didn't do anything. They ran up and down the field against the only game they won against was Green Bay. They tied. They didn't stop Green Bay. That went to 40-40 tie, right? So they've scored 30-plus points, or in this case, 27-plus points in almost damn near every game they're averaging, right? Minus the one game against the Bears where their offense could not do a damn thing. And you saw what happened when their offense didn't score. Their defense looks worse than Swiss cheese, with all the holes in it. So,
I wish I could feed y'all too, though, man. I wish I could feed y'all, man.
Man, I wish we had the crock pot going to give you some stew or something.
Hell yeah, it's that kind of day out here, man. It's definitely the kind of weather we got dealing with right now. That good chip, nice little pot of chili or something, man. But yeah, I don't know. You got any other thoughts before we get out of here, Adam? Before we get ready to close up?
I think we've exhausted all we can talk about. We just got to see if it plays out.
Look, man, this is the NFC in particular is going to be a weird conference. We get closer to getting to December and playoff time. It's going to be interesting. The way things are shaping up right now in the NFC, it's going to be it's going to be some fun stuff going on.
Well,
December,
I think it's going to be 3 teams. It could end up being 3 teams from the West, 3 teams from the Central, at least 2 teams from the Central, one from the South, and then probably 1 from the NFC. And then then it's a toss up from them because you have Chicago and all this. And we'll preview all this on Premium Takes, right? We have a whole forum to do all that, and maybe that's what we'll do for you guys. Is we'll look at the playoff scenarios right now. It's never too early because again we're about to be heading into week 8 after this Sunday. Okay, that's how crazy we are at. There'll be 10 games remaining after this Sunday. 10 games. That's literally 8. That's 8. That's 4. That's 4 weekends in November, 4 weekends in December, and a weekend in January and a weekend in October. That's basically what it is.
Yep. Season go by fast every year, man.
I got nothing.
But yeah, I don't really have much else either, man. This is appreciate everybody. This has been another edition of the Real Deal NFC East Roundup. You guys are new to the channels, man. To my channel, Adam's channel, the Hardcore Sports Network. Make sure y'all sub up, like at all the all those channels, man. All those platforms where you can see the Real Deal NFC East Roundup each and every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we definitely appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I'm Mac the Giants fan. This is my guy, super dope co-host Adam Costas. And we'll see y'all next Wednesday, man.
Good night, everybody.
Peace. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants Fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants Fan. That's MacDa Giants Fan.